What's up, y'all? This is Henny. And listen, today I want to talk to you about my 5 favorite AUV3 plugins to use inside of Lumafusion 3.0. Now, you know Lumafusion has a new update allowing you to use the plugins inside of Lumafusion to really get your audio crispy. I want to show you my 5 favorites, and I want to show them to you right now. Let's go!
The business.
All right, so first things first, of course, I got my headphones on so I can make sure I can dial in these settings to be able to show you exactly how this works. The first AUV3 plugin I want to show you is one I talked about in my Lumafusion 3.0 review. It's called Channel Strip. Let me show you exactly how this works. Okay, so in Channel Strip, you have 3 different ways that you can process your audio. The first part of this channel strip is a gate. It allows you to take unwanted noise from your audio when you're not speaking. The second part is an equalizer. Of course, it'll allow you to adjust your lows, your mids, your highs, depending on what type of frequency you need, whether you need super low end like 50 hertz or not as much low end as 100 hertz, or even on the higher end, 75 hertz all the way up to what they call air. And then the third one is a compressor. Right? You have your threshold, your attack, your release. It allows you to keep the volume of your voice, whether it's high or whether it's soft, really in a nice, even place, an even playing field, as you might see. And then all the way to the right, you have your levels, your input and your output, your mute and your bypass. So let me bring it into Lumafusion and let me show you how I can adjust that. All right, so here's my test audio. This is an audio test. This is an audio test testing my favorite AUV3 plugins inside of Lumafusion 3.0. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to turn on all 3 and I'm going to just adjust it just a little bit so that I can get it going. So what I'm going to do first is take this threshold. I turned it on and I'm going to bring it all the way down. So I'm going to adjust it to make sure that I'm taking a little bit of that room noise out of my vocal. This is an audio test. This is an audio test testing my favorite AUV3 plugins inside of Lumafusion 3.0. Normally, I like to keep it very simple on the gate so it's not really making your vocals very choppy. Let's move on to the equalizer and let me show you how that sounds. This is an audio test. This is an audio test testing my favorite AUV3 plugins inside of Lumafusion 3.0. Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3. And now I'm going to do it with a little compression. This is an audio test. This is an audio test testing my favorite AUV3 plugins inside of Lumafusion 3.0. Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3. So you can see with Channel Strip, you can easily adjust your audio, get it nice and sounding crispy, and it works very well inside of Lumafusion 3.0. That's why I like Channel Strip. It gives you a gate, it gives you a compressor, and it gives you an equalizer, all built in, very simple to use. That's why I love Channel Strip for this type of situation. My second AUV3 plugin that I would definitely recommend is a plugin called the Brust Free, something like that. It's by Clevgrand, and it's a great plugin to really eliminate noise and background in your audio. So if there's an audio where you really need to try to take out that background noise or things like that, it can really kind of compress those things out of there, and that is just for that. It's not a channel strip. It doesn't give you all the extras. It really focuses on just removing the noise. So let me show you how that works with an audio sample using a fan. You'll see that it has 3 different sections, right? You'll have this attack threshold release down here, right? And that'll allow you to kind of adjust the compression of this plugin. And then right here in the middle, you'll see the circle with this kind of outline of an ear. What it's going to do is look forward based off of the type of audio that you have, right? It's going to look at it, you hold that down, and then you release it when you want it to stop, when you think it's captured enough of the audio. And it's going to process that audio and kind of give you more gated sound so you can get some of that background out of there. And then you can adjust it with the smooth and the treble and the gain and the mix. So let's play around with this with a clip that I did using a little mini fan here. This is an audio test. This is an audio test testing the AUV3 plugins inside of Lumafusion 3.0. So I'm gonna play the audio and then I'm gonna come over here and hit this ear button for it to process and see exactly how much it needs to compress and gate out of there. So let me show you how this works. This is an audio test. This is an audio test testing the AUV3 plugins inside of Lumafusion 3.0. So, as you can see, it really took away a lot of that background sound in that fan, right? So you can really mix it in. You can kind of gain it up a little bit, bring all the way the mix back up. This is an audio test. This is an audio test testing the AUV3 plugins inside of Lumafusion 3.0. Now with this plugin, you might have to really tweak it a little bit depending on the background noise to make sure that you are not completely clipping out your audio as well that you're talking from. So, using the mix knobs, right? Using the gain and the treble can really allow you to mix that in so that you are removing the background but not removing too much of your own vocal. And this is an amazing plugin to do just those things, and it works extremely well. That's Brush Free, Brush Fry from Clevgram. Now say you just want to brighten up your vocal, right? Just make it brighter, sound cool and crispy. You don't want to worry too much about the compression. You don't want to worry too much about the gate. You just want to kind of excite the vocal. This is a plugin that uses the harmonics and the timbres, frequencies, and just kind of boost and excite your vocal. So let me show you how this works and show you how you can excite your vocal without having to compress it or gate it or anything like that. This is an audio test. This is an audio test testing my favorite AUV3 plugins inside of Lumafusion 3.0. Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3. Now you can see that you can really brighten the vocals up very, very, very high. You can actually hear this listen button. I could play it again and we can figure out just as much that we want to actually focus in on as far as the excitement of your vocal. This is an audio test. This is an audio test testing my favorite. So you can see with RRS Exciter, it doesn't take much to really start to boost those high frequencies in your vocal. And so, sometimes when you feel like your vocal's a little too muddy, and you can just use the listen button, figure out exactly how much of that high end you want to kind of boost, and then you boost it up, and then you can take that mix button and just kind of dial it back so it doesn't sound overly sharp. You know what I mean? It's kind of like digital sharpening in a sense with if you're doing photography. You know what I'm talking about. So making sure that you're giving yourself a little bit of brightness, not too much, will just really excite that vocal. So that's why I recommend RRS Exciter, and it can really brighten up those vocals. So listen, the moment that I try to do a 5 plugin video, the other plugins that I wanted to try out just seemed to be too glitchy for me to recommend. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't, and it's frustrating, and I don't know exactly why it is, whether it's on the AUV3 plugin side or if it's on Lumafusion side. But let me show you what I'm talking about here. Another plugin that I love to use on my music production for effects and doing fun things is the one called Koala Effects, right? There, I have everything from pitch to crutch to stutter to gate, and I've gotten it to work here and there, but the moment that I try to record a video, it glitches out on me. So let me show you what happens. This is an audio test. This is an audio test testing my favorite AUV3 plugins inside of Lumafusion 3.0. So what you can see here is that it's just really not activating the parts of the plugin that I needed to work on, whether it's the reverb, or anything like that. This is an audio test. Doesn't really work exactly like I want it to work. If anybody has any recommendations for me, because I really wanted to show you a couple other plugins that you can use for different things, whether you're trying to, freak a vocal, pitch down a vocal, those types of things can be kind of cool in a video edit. And I thought that it would work pretty good, but it's like 50-50 every time I try to load it in. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Koala Effects is an amazing plugin for what it is. I don't think it has anything to do with the plugin by itself because it works on my music production side. It just doesn't seem to work all the way inside of Lumafusion. The same with a plugin that I use all the time called Mixbox. Now Mixbox is by IK Multimedia. If I come down here and let's say I want to do some type of compression, I can go down to their dynamics. I like their white 2A, right? And now I have the white compression loaded. You can actually load 4 plugins at a time and create a whole pack of plugins inside of this one plugin. But when I try to use this here, hold on, let me show you. This is an audio test. This is an audio test testing my favorite AUV3 plugins inside of Lumafusion 3.0. What you're seeing here is you're seeing like it kind of glitch out, right? It's kind of like doing its thing and kind of going left and right. Let me add another effect and let's see if it does any better. Okay, so I'm gonna come down here. I'm gonna hit this off button. Let's try just overdrive by itself. This is an audio test. This is an audio test testing my favorite AUV3 plugins inside of Lumafusion 3.0. What I'm showing you is the fact that these plugins are amazing on the music production side, and you can really create some great stacks, but until either Lumafusion or these apps get properly updated, I can't recommend them. And man, I tried about 5 of the other 5 that I wanted to show you guys today, and it just, I can't recommend them yet. Damn, I thought it would work, y'all. But listen, sometimes, you do a video, you try to get to it, and it just doesn't work out the way that you want it to do. But I can recommend the 3 that I showed you before. The 3 that work really well are Channel Strip, Brush Free, and the RRS Exciter. So even if you want to just crisp up your vocals, if you want to compress and gate your vocals, if you want to remove some of that noise, you're going to be able to use these 3 plugins, no problem. I haven't had any issues with them. They've been working very well. The other problem that you might run into with some of these plugins is that some of them are iPad only and some of them are iPad and iPhone. Depending on if you use your plugins for, on the go and you're really using it with your phone or you're using it with your iPad, some of these plugins, give or take, are only iPad or iPhone. So that could be a thing if you really want plugins that can work with both. The one thing that I really hope to see in an update from Lumafusion is to be able to put a plugin on the master channel so that you can do things like, a limiting or, really kind of get like that kind of mastery to that overall sound of your edit, because what I usually do is I'll come out and if I'm doing like a music video or if I'm doing some type of video that I'm doing music in, I'll come out and I'll export my video audio only and I'll bring it into one of my music apps. Then I'll master that and bring it back in as a separate audio and mute the rest of the audio channels and have a clean mastered version of this session. I really want to dive deeper into this because I know that this is such a great way for Lumafusion to allow plugins and things like that for your edits, for your mixes inside of your video. So, hey. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But I can tell you the ones that do work really well, and I do recommend those. I apologize that it's not the 5. And we're going to get right back to it once these apps or Lumafusion has been updated. So that's about it for today. I thank you guys for watching and tuning in. If you have any more questions about these apps, any more questions about these AUV3 plugins, or if you have some that have worked that you really could recommend, drop them down in the comment section below and we can have a discussion about it with the rest of the community. I will talk to you guys in the next one, and hopefully it will be 100% effective for what you need. All right. Talk to you soon. Hit 'em out!